Hey, today we're going to tackle a full-blown upholstery job. This is something I've never done before. My first time, guys. Hang in there with me. This cute little chair came from a wonderful customer of mine. It was hers when she was a little girl, but you can tell it has definitely seen better days and needs to be redone. As I said, this is my first time, so I did what everyone should do. I watched a few YouTube videos and saw how they did this. So the first thing we want to do is start at the very last step. So we need to figure out what they did last, and we're going to start taking it apart in the exact order that they put it together. So we're going to start with this back piece here. Now, normally I would just rip the fabric off on all the demos I've done before. That's exactly what I did. But being that I'm going to be replacing this, I need to be very careful and try to keep these pieces intact because each one of them is going to be used as a template for my new fabric. I have found that every upholstery project is very time consuming, so really just taking your time, getting all those little staple guys out. But the most important thing I want to show you guys right now is that I'm numbering these and writing what and where they go on the piece. That way, when I go to put it back together, I know I'm going to go backwards from what I did. So if it was number 1, I'm going to start with number 9, back like that. This little piece right here was kind of interesting that they used to cover up where the other two fabrics met. We're going to go ahead and get that guy off real carefully too. So as I started pulling this thing apart, I just really looked at what was on top of what. It's kind of like layers of an onion. You just want to do one layer at a time, not skipping and going under. If you did, that's okay. Just stop and get that layer on top. That way you're going in the right order. I thought these little shoulder rests were interesting too. I don't think I've ever seen that before on a chair, but then again, I've never done a chair, so I don't know, kind of a cute little addition there. Some of this foam was in pretty darn good shape, so I'm going to go ahead and keep and reuse what I can, along with that cardboard piece. They had it in there for a reason. I'm assuming it's essential, so let's go ahead and keep the original. That way we can use it when we start putting it back together. This piece of foam right here is definitely going to be replaced. You can see the weather has got to it. Every piece I removed, I laid it down on my new piece of fabric and traced around the edges. That way I could cut it out. I pinned it to it first so it would hold it nice and tight and I wouldn't get the pieces confused or mixed up. Now it's time to do that little army dilly. I was really hesitant about how to do that because I need to get those little circles, like the circles, the curves, really nice and tight. So I decided to go ahead and make a cardboard template of it, and we're going to use that to hook it to it. I used double-sided tape to hold that fabric down, and it really did work out well. So if you're ever doing something like that, keep this in mind. You need to make those nice little curves. The cardboard, man, it worked. Their little tip is to cut little slits in your fabric. That way when you go to fold and to follow those curves around, there just won't be any bunching or gathering. Okay, so I got everything ready the night before. It is a new day and it's time to start putting it back together. There was none of this strapping on this chair, and those springs, as you could see when we saw the old piece of foam, were definitely making an indentation. So I just put a couple straps in there, not as tight as I'd like them to be, but I got them in. Now let's go ahead and start reassembling this guy, making sure we go in the opposite order that we took it apart. Some of you guys might know that I do have two staple guns that I use often. My Ryobi staple gun is heavy because of that battery. It's nice that I don't have a cord and don't have to use the compressor, but it's also larger. So using my smaller one with the compressor was a lot better for this particular piece. It's not as heavy and I'm able to get it into smaller spaces. In hindsight, I wish I would have taken a picture of every step before I removed it. That way I could see exactly how they had it hooked on. Luckily, I did have my before picture, so I actually printed it out so I could really look to see how they had it done. But you guys, maybe take a picture. That way you just save yourself a little bit of trouble, and you don't have to, worry, am I getting it together right? Because honestly, once it's together, then you're gonna have to pull all those staples out if you get it wrong. Part here was really tricky for me. I did not have a close-up picture of this on how they had it attached, so I did my best. I didn't want a ton of staples showing, so I was trying to go underneath and then fold it back. I was able to do that for a bit at the top of the shoulder part. As it got down to the bottom, I didn't have enough room to fold it back over anymore, so there are some staples. Luckily, this fabric is pretty colorful, so you can't really even see them. But I wish I wouldn't have any showing. That would be ideal. I'm very thankful that I took the fabric off really nice and easily without tearing it, because I was able to save the little cardboard strippings that came with it, and they came really in handy. Absolutely no way to get these pieces on without having staples. There's no other way. So that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and use some upholstery tacks, go right over where I put the staple, and they're hidden. Yay. This feels good. We are finally at the end of the road. That back piece is the one we took off first. We're getting it back on there. That's exciting. It's a good feeling to have it all done. We're gonna do a little fold right here, flip this guy over and pull it nice and taut from below. Then I'm gonna put a couple of upholstery tacks in there on the back to make it hold that fabric down, and I don't have staples running all the way down the back of my chair. Thought I recorded putting the upholstery tacks in, but apparently I did not. So this is what they look like. I really hope you guys like this project, and I hope my customer is as happy with it as I am. For my first try, I think it came out pretty darn good. I'm kind of proud of myself. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And you guys are awesome. Don't forget, only you can make it happen. And if you are interested in anything I sell at my store, you can find it on my website at Windmill Vintage Designs. Do you have something old that means so much to you that you want refurbished? There's girls around just like me who can help you out. See you guys later.